everyone? Welcome back to Hoops and Brews. As always, your boy Pavy with the homie Joe. Um,
What's
back at
good?
how you feeling today, bro?
I'm pretty good. What about you? I've been really chilling so far today.
I'm chilling, bro. I haven't slept in like a week, but I'm chilling. I
When'd you
was
get
in.
back?
I got back from Chicago. I was supposed to get back Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday, or no, I was supposed to get back Monday. Then I had a 36-hour girlfriend, so I pushed my trip back. I'll tell the story off air. 36-hour girlfriend. So I ended up pushing my trip back, and I actually got back. I think I got back Tuesday or whatever it was, Tuesday. So yeah, I got back Tuesday. And yeah, man, just pretty much been chilling ever since. Yeah,
That's what's up, man. Where we gonna get started? I think where we want to start.
some news happened.
Some
Your
things did
man's,
happen.
your man's, Chet Holmgren, uh, unfortunately, was in an open run. In Seattle, if I'm not mistaken, right? Seattle.
Seattle, yep. The Jamal Crawford pro.
Which was sanctioned by the NBA. I think Jason Tatum was in that run. They also had well, obviously LeBron was in that run. Didn't they have some other NBA players besides just those two?
Yeah, Paola. I'm pretty sure Ben Carroll played. Ben Carroll was in it, and didn't Murray play as well? I think he played in that game too,
I'm
right?
assuming Murray has played in every single pro game I've ever seen this summer, so I'm assuming he was there. But apparently, the court wasn't in the best conditions. I think because it was so many people in the gym that the gym was just very hot, if I'm not mistaken. So the court
hmm
wasn't in the best condition, and Chet Holmgren on a breakaway, was trying to play defense, ended up doing what we thought spraining his ankle. Turned out to be a Liz Frank fracture, which is he either broke the bones or he tore the tendons, one of the two.
hmm
But he's out for the year. I think some of that is probably actually more precautionary than the fact that he just has to be out for the full year. But he's out for the year, man. What do you think about it? What do you think about players playing? I mean, obviously you can't control injuries, but players playing in summer games, and yeah, just what do you think about that whole situation in general?
I think it's obviously the outcome is bad, but I don't think it means much. I think people are overreacting. Whether if you're working out at the gym, if you at practice, if you lifting weights, you can get injured doing whatever it is. All I know is the answer to all of this is not ban players from playing basketball and some ban them from playing in summer league games because he literally could be playing pickup or he could be doing a drill and the same thing can happen.
He'd be
I
walking
don't
down
think
the
that's the
street.
answer. I think exactly. I think the play was bad. I don't think you should have contested I don't think you should have contested LeBron's fast break, even though he
Like,
did
what are
pull
you
off one.
doing, bro? Like, what are
He
you
shouldn't have
doing, bro?
contested the fast break. Let him
What
get
are
it
you
done.
doing, G? This is
Let him
fucking
get it done.
August. Stop, Chet. Stop.
Let him get it done. But the thing is, he didn't. It was a very, it was a very impressive stop. If you ask me, I think stopping LeBron James right there, that shows you Chet ain't sweet
He
and all the
wasn't.
process.
LeBron was not going full speed, bro. Because
But you,
LeBron is 38 years old and doesn't want to hurt himself. He was not going full speed, bro. And
it's a fast break. You're supposed to be one of the, if not the best finisher in NBA
come on,
history.
G. We are
That's supposed
on
to be
a
a
court.
guaranteed
We
bucket.
are we are on a court in equipped for NBA athletes to play on in the middle of August. I'm not doing this with you right now.
I feel you, but it was a heck of a stop by Chet. But and the result was bad. But I don't think there's any sort of should be any sort of overreaction to it. Like I said, it's pro am, it happens. But it's I think now that OKC is about to go into super tank mode. Like you said, they said out for the year. I wouldn't. That's more just to like. I mean, maybe they could have given him a short timetable. That's probably more so like it's not like they say 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks. 10 weeks gonna come up and everybody's gonna be looking at him. This is kind of like set the whole conversation up around him, take all the pressure off of Chet. Young player, you don't want that looming on him. Now he's gonna set himself for sort of like a Ben Simmons thing. He won the rookie of the year, his second year, kind of like how Blake Griffin did. With that,
Yeah.
however you want to count it. He set himself up for that. But I think OKC is going to throw themselves. A lot of people think Sam Presti is going to throw himself into that conversation. Um, to that number one pick, another tanker, and he's gonna try to pair maybe one Banyu, if that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure. That's
Wembanyama, if I'm not mistaken. It's Victor Wembanyama.
Wimbiana. Yeah, Victor Wimbiana. Pair him with Chet, Giddy, and that core they do have in OKC. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think the play was Chet made a bad decision on trying to, I don't know, I don't
Superhero.
know, yeah, be a superhero. Even though it was a heck of a stop, 2K need to give him Hall of Fame rim protector for
Relax.
being able to stop one of the greatest finishers in the history of the
Relax.
league on the fast break. I don't happen too often. It don't happen too often. It was a stop.
My thoughts is number one, the Thunder weren't going to need any help in tanking. They were going to suck regardless. They weren't going to need any help in tanking.
Chet is like 10, 15 wins. Chet is like 10 wins.
Chet is not adding 10 wins, 10 to 15 wins to
Chet
your
like
team.
10 wins.
Chet
Yes,
is
he
not
is.
adding 10 to 15 wins to your team.
Yes, he is.
They were going to struggle in 32 games. Yeah,
32.
struggling to win 32 games.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, say without Chet, they're gonna be probably like 10 to
They not gonna
15,
win.
20, 10 to 20, 10 to 25.
They not
Chet
gonna
is
win
like
10 games, bro.
Chet is
It's
like
like no.
guaranteed.
If they win 10 games, they need to be literally investigated. If they win 10 games, they need to be investigated. Investigate them if they win 10 games.
Yeah, how they move at the end of the year, letting Trey Man and they let all their guys loose at the end of
They
the
should
season.
win at least 25 games if everybody is actually there and healthy.
Watch Shea get the lightest injury ever, and they're gonna be talking about some 4-5 weeks, and they're gonna keep that. And it's too easy for that to happen. It's too nobody gonna question
severe ankle sprain, 2 months. I do think the play. I mean, I do think the whole situation is just unfortunate in general. But my main thing with Chet, even before the draft, was health. I just looked at his body type, and it's just very hard for guys who look like that to have a 10-year career. So I hope that, and this is being a lower, a lower extremity injury. Obviously, it's a foot injury. Liz Frank. I'm trying to think who retired because of like a Liz Frank injury. I'm sure there's somebody who retired because of like a Liz Frank injury. Now it might have been like that. Didn't Bill Walton have a Liz Frank injury?
Bill Walton had everything.
Bill Walton
he
had
was
everything. Bill Walton had he had an injured right. I don't even. What did he have? He had I just see injured right foot. Regardless.
Was Bill Walton a vegetarian? Random?
I don't know.
I know my grandpa used to always say, Bill Walton always hurt. He vegetarian. He'll eat no meat. My grandpa used to always tell me that. That's what he said about Bill. I don't know.
But regardless, with bigger guys like that, you always have to be careful especially when they hurt their feet. So hopefully this is a pattern of things to come for Chet. Hopefully, and that's why I think you probably set him out for the season. You don't want to, rush your number 2 pick back. You're not like playing for anything this season. I mean, obviously you're playing for, growth and to like keep getting better, but you're not going to win a championship this year if you're the Thunder. So you want to make sure he's, sits down, gets right. But it's just an unfortunate situation. In general, and prayers to Chet. Hopefully, Chet can come back stronger than ever. Hopefully, honestly, it gives obviously it's his feet, so you won't be able to do like much, running. But hopefully, he gets to put on some weight. Hopefully, you get to do some like lifting and things like that, and you can put on some weight and be more, physically equipped next year when you step onto a NBA court. But the other big news: Patrick Beverley is now a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. Taylor Horton-Tucker and Stanley Johnson have been traded to the Utah Jazz. Pat Bev is back in LA. He is in a Lakers jersey now. Pat Bev got his wish. Remember, Pat Bev was like what in like April, May was like, "Yo, get me to LA. If you get me to LA, we going to the Western Conference Finals." Well, Pat Bev, you are now in Los Angeles. Let's see if this team indeed goes to the Western Conference Finals. What do you think about the Pat Bev acquisition? And more importantly, obviously, Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook have a extended history. Extended history at this point. They haven't liked each other for about 10 years. So do you think they can coexist in the same locker room? And as far as basketball wise, what do you think Pat Bev brings to the Los Angeles Lakers?
I think Pat Bev, this is a great trade for the Lakers, a great win now move by Rob Pelinka, I believe. I think a blind man could see that Taylor Horton-Tucker was not going to develop into the basketball player that he was going to be as a Laker, especially with the roster as constructed as it is. Him developing into the player he should be, sharing the basketball with Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, it seemed like the most impossible thing ever. So I'm glad that bridge is over and he gets a new leaf in Utah. That's fire. Shout out to him. But I think it was a great win now move. Patrick Beverley brings literally everything I think the Lakers lacked last year. Pretty much everything in one that we lacked: intensity, fire, a little bit of 3-point shooting, 37% for his career. This is an amazing move by Rob Pelinka and the Lakers management. I think Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley obviously have their differences over the last 10 years, like you just stated, but they're both grown men and they both are. I would have to assume they're both very mature. So I think they can put this stuff behind them, and I think they can both help each other a lot in the basketball court. Like you tweeted earlier, I don't think those defensive breakdowns. Russ was responsible for a lot of defensive breakdowns last year. I don't think that stuff happens if you have Patrick Beverley on the court on the same court as you. Come from somebody who has played on multiple basketball teams myself. It definitely matters who's around there with you. If you miss your help side, Austin Reeves not going to tell Russell Westbrook, "Hey man, what you doing?" He's not going to say nothing. The game is going to keep going on, and it's going to keep happening all night, and we're going to lose by 30. And whoever Westbrook's opposing man is, whether it's Reggie Jackson, if it's Trae Young, is going to finish with 30 and 10, whatever it might be. It's going to keep happening all night. Nobody's going to speak up, and it's not going to happen. You put a guy like Patrick Beverley next to him who hold him accountable. He slips up. He gives up a wide open layup. Pat Bev is on him. And Westbrook, I don't think he wants to give Patrick Beverley the opportunity to be on him. You want to, it ups your intensity and everything you want to do when you have a player like that around you. Sort of like the Draymond Green impact, Tony Allen impact. The guys, these great defensive players and these great role players who execute their role as good as they do. It rises up. It brings up everybody. I think what is it? Perk said, but Patrick Beverley can score 0 points and still have a heck of an impact on winning.
For sure.
More impact on winning than the Stanley Johnson or THT ever could for the Lakers. Another reason why this is a great move. I don't think losing Stanley kind of sucks because if you look at the Lakers roster, I think one of the biggest holes with the roster is they don't really have too many wings. Stanley Johnson was a wing who could guard and make a corner three and hustle. And he might have. I think he won us a couple games last year. I think off of his hustle, ability to make some shots, and ability to run around the court, and just be big, be a 6'6" strong wing who can stand in front of somebody. They'll miss him, even though they did sign Troy Brown Jr. They did sign Juan Toscano Anderson, who I think is very good. Yeah, Lonnie Walker. He's more of a guard though.
Yeah, right? But
yeah,
no.
I'm just talking about like wings, but. Yeah, with that being said, we lack wings. That's the only reason. But I feel like you can sign a Josh Jackson or Jeremy Lamb, and you can get you replace pretty much everything Stanley Johnson brought. So that's why losing him isn't that bad. Still? You said what?
Is Lamb available still, Jeremy Lamb?
I haven't heard nobody signing Jeremy Lamb, but he probably wants more than a minimum. That's probably why he's unrealistic for us. But players like that can easily replace what a Stanley Johnson can bring to the table. I think this is the dynamic will be very interesting to see how it plays out. But I think it should be fire because he feels everything that if you watched the Lakers game last year, there was no hustle, a lot of lack of everything pretty much. Nights where we lose to Oklahoma City, nights where we lose to Portland with no Dame, no CJ. We lose to the Pelicans before they traded for CJ. There's a lot of bad losses and a lot of nobody cared. And Patrick Beverley has never accepted stuff like that on the team. So it should be this is a heck of a move. I think a good win now move, which obviously the Lakers have no choice but to be in win now mode, given LeBron that extension and time is ticking for him, and Anthony Davis is only getting older and whatnot. This is a heck of a move. I'm really looking forward to seeing Patrick. I've always wanted him on the Lakers. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in how this works out.
Number one, I think Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook can actually play together. I think they can both coexist in a backcourt. Also, you could probably even move Russ into. I don't want to say his more natural position, but you can move him to the two, which there's been conversations from even when he came into the league that he was really a two guard playing the one because he was just too small to play two, especially in that period of time. But I love the move. For one, I think he brings playmaking as well. Like obviously he's not a full-time point guard, but he can make some plays for your basketball team. Two, granted, he did shoot 34% from three last year, but like you said, throughout his career, he's been a 37% three-point shooter. Also, he knows how to play with other ball-dominant players. Obviously, he played with James Harden. He also played with the Heatles. I mean, granted, he didn't make it past, I don't think training camp it was, but he still has some familiarity with Bron. He played with Kawhi and Paul George. So he has like history of playing with other ball dominant players. And he'll do all the things that I didn't see any fucking body else on the Lakers doing last year. Like all the things. He'll dive on the floor for loose balls. He will annoy the hell out of somebody. And I think it had like can you think of a more annoying backcourt than Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley? That's fucking annoying. That's annoying. That is a very annoying backcourt. And I think Patrick Beverley will help keep everybody accountable, including LeBron. I think
that's what he said he's gonna do.
I think Patrick Beverley will. I mean, he's a respected veteran. I mean, obviously he's not a Hall of Famer, but he's definitely a respected veteran in his league. He probably only has like 1 to 2 to 3 years left at this. He's 34 years old now. So I love it. I absolutely love the move. I'm not one of the people who's on the trade Russ thing. I'm definitely not on it now. Like, again, you get now Russell Westbrook, in theory, can take the off guard. He doesn't have to guard the point guard anymore because you have Pat Beverley for that. So in theory, Pat Beverley can now take the best backcourt matchup every night, and you can leave Russ with kind of the other guard. Like, let's say we play the Suns, you can put Patrick Beverley on Devin Booker. You can. And last time Patrick Beverley guarded Devin Booker ended up with a broken nose. It just happened. He so annoyed him. He annoyed him so much he broke his nose. And you can put Russell Westbrook more on Chris Paul. Chris Paul usually is not out there trying to score 25, 30. Can he do it? Yeah, but he's not out there every day trying to score 25, 30 points. You can even kind of lessen Russell Westbrook's defensive responsibility. And I think you kind of sort of get a little bit back to your identity that you had when you won the championship, which I think was defense. So if Pat Beverley can come in and play, all defensive team level defense, you pair that with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, who can still defend. I think you got something there, and I think it also aligns with what Darvin Ham has been preaching. He's been preaching like, "Yo, we're gonna come out here, we're gonna play hard every night, defend." That's been the thing that he's been saying consistently since he got the job. So I think Patrick Beverley aligns with that, and yes, I think he can fit with Russ. I actually didn't think they'll probably actually get along a lot. I think they're kind of like the same guy in a way. It's just Patrick Beverley isn't the superstar, so he has to do some of the other things. But I think he's like Russell Westbrook if Russell Westbrook was like a defender or like just like a glue guy.
Like wasn't as athletic, wasn't
Yeah,
as dynamic.
Yeah. So like, and again, you had LeBron James in the locker room. Like, he'll make sure everybody is, sit down, guys. If there even needs to be a conversation with that, which I think that's a little bit overstated, and it kind of doesn't need to be a conversation with that. But
the memes are hilarious, but it's the memes are but it's not gonna be nothing like that. They're not gonna be about to fight each other. They understand. They got one mission. Even Magic Johnson, I like his tweet. He talked about how he hated Patrick Beverley. Now he a Laker, so it's on.
They traded Rondo because Russell Westbrook couldn't coexist. Right, Rajon Rondo also at that age wasn't the defender that. Also, Rondo never shot 34. Rondo never shot 38% from three. I love Rondo, but he never did that. Rondo was also a more ball dominant guard. Patrick Beverley has never been a ball dominant guard. Like Rondo, if you have Rondo on the court, you have to give Rondo the basketball, because if he doesn't have the basketball, what's the point of Rajon Rondo being on the court?
So, that doesn't make sense. Yeah,
that doesn't make sense to me. I disagree with that. But any last words on this topic before we move on and get to the Southwest Division, which, actually looking at this division, could be one of the better divisions in the Western Conference. Just looking at the teams. Any last words on Patrick Beverley now being a Laker?
Nah, it's heat. Let's get it. I'm ready to see him out there yelling at people, yelling at each other, and screaming at people and yelling first team all defense when he diving on the floor and everybody getting hyped up. He's gonna be amazing. It seems him and Darvin Ham, those two accusations to the Lakers this season are like perfect. Along with the youth, I think the Lakers have had a really good offseason. I'm not sure if they're done yet. Obviously, some people still think Russ might be on the move. That was like the headline of Bleacher Report out of nowhere after they got Russ, talking about how, but doesn't make much sense to me.
They'll either trade him or like sit him down, but like, why would you? I'm not sitting 44. You better get your ass out there and play. We not the Rockets. The Rockets set John Wall down because there's no use for him playing. The Lakers are still trying to win.
He literally led the Lakers in like 4 different categories. Played like 78 games. It's like no,
you can get your ass on that court.
Yeah. Also, you saw the LeBron tweet. I can't wait for us to go out this year.
Yeah,
what that means in the fact that
the other one said gave a kiss of death.
But hey, Brian, low key, if Russ get traded, Brian wrong as hell. That's not it.
Well, what team do you want to talk about first, bro?
In the Southwest, we could get started with the I guess we can start with the Spurs.
That's a choice. All right, San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich, I'm assuming it's probably going to be one of his last couple years coaching this basketball team. I don't know what his contract looks like, but I can't see him being there too much longer. Obviously, the Spurs went 34 and 48 last year. They traded their best player, DeJounte Murray. They extended, if I'm not mistaken, Keldon Johnson, but that kicks in the year after. Their highest paid player. Can you guess who their highest paid player is?
It's Keldon Johnson. Wait, no. After he gets
this year right now.
I just looked at the roster.
Doug
It gotta
McDermott,
be. Doug, I mean, how much is he getting?
$13 million.
Wow, they gotta fill that cap up. And they're gonna be that tank. That race for number one pick is gonna be crazy. They're gonna be ooh.
So yes, the Spurs are gonna suck. The Spurs are gonna be bad. The Spurs are not gonna be a good basketball team. They are in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. But I guess if you look, but I guess if you just look kind of at their roster, I think they do have some guys that you can be excited about and hope that you can see some progress from. Obviously, Joshua Primo, who, if I'm not mistaken, was the youngest guy in the league last year. I mean, he's born in 2002. So that's what makes him, like 19 years old right now. A guard. He's a guy that you hope that you can see, progression from. Keldon Johnson, obviously, you want to see him continue to grow. I think Keldon Johnson. Yeah, Keldon Johnson was actually my pick for most improved player last year. Obviously, he didn't win that, but that was one of the reasons why I went after him in fantasy, because I just thought that with the people who left with DeMar leaving the Spurs, that was going to open up 18 shots for somebody else. That and I thought that Keldon would be one of those people who would step up, which he did, and he has another opportunity to do that this year. Also, Devin Vassell is a guy that you hope that you can see continued improvement from this year. The rookie Blake Wesley. They also didn't draft the rookie from that's not the man. Man's from overseas. What's his name? Hold on, let me look at the draft, because I'm pretty sure they drafted 2000.
I thought they got somebody too.
Yeah, it was a guy from like New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually, no. He got traded to Oklahoma City. That's my bad.
Oh,
They picked Jeremy Skoshan who was a forward from Baylor and went to Poland. No, he's from Poland, but he went to Baylor. He was a freshman. So again, the Spurs just have like a lot of young guys that you just hope to see progression from. Like, they're gonna be like who the Rockets and like Thunder were last year. Just run the young guys out there and just see what you can get out of them. And just hopefully you can teach them the right way to play the NBA game. Obviously, the Spurs have had one of the better training staffs in the NBA for the last 10 years. So you just want to see continued improvements, and hopefully you lose a lot of games while you continue to improve.
Yeah, if you're a Spurs fan, you just want to compete a little bit, and you want to see growth from the young players. Like, you want to be able to, like, if you match up with the Bucks, you want to be able to take them all the way down to the last minute and still lose. You want to be able to see guys like Keldon Johnson go at a Giannis. You want to see guys like Jacob Poeltl get 5 blocks every once in a while. You want to see guys like, and I also have a Zach Collins, who's kind of like a guy who had a lot of people were high on a couple years ago. Portland fans really loved him. Could never really get it together because his foot injury, right? Injuries. But he should have the opportunities to be there for him. And also they also picked up Josh Richardson. He's a vet, can knock down the 3 ball. Probably be a good influence on the young guys. Maybe like a Devin Vassell would be a good influence on him. I also think Poeltl is like one of the most. I had a take on him a couple podcasts ago. I think he's one of the most underrated centers in the league. I said I'd take him over Gobert. I could explain that.
You would explain a lie, but okay.
Poeltl is a lot cheaper than Gobert is. So if I do have to take him off the court late in games, I still have money elsewhere that I'm placing in my guards and other places that I can still be nice. Poeltl protects the rim just as good. Poeltl is very versatile. He can finish around the rim better than Gobert.
No, he can't.
It's around the same. Gobert is a little more athletic.
Jakob Poeltl shoots. He does shoot 61% from the field. Okay.
Yeah, Poeltl is very solid, and he's honestly probably the best fantasy player on this team. He'll probably produce the most out of everybody. I'll say he's the best player.
I can agree with that. He'll probably get
team. Yeah, he should be very fun to watch. The Spurs and the influence has been very great on him. Every time I know the Lakers played them, he gave us trouble every single time. Every time I checked the Spurs, every time I did check his stat sheet, he was there. So Poeltl will be very fun to watch. Zach Collins, hopefully we can get a healthy year from him. Could be some sort of possibly maybe a breakout type thing. If they can get Keldon Johnson, if he continues to improve, they can get about 16 and 7 from him a night, maybe 18 and 8, somewhere around that range. That would be amazing. they just want to see growth and they want to see compete. And when they want to compete, like they want to go out there. If they do play one of the top teams in the league, hopefully give them a run for their money and then lose
and
towards the end.
lose.
Yeah, and lose. But yeah, the Spurs is going to be a bad year for them, but they'll probably end up with the number 1 pick and get and they'll be right back there. I think Pops probably took a year off to leave them relieve them of that stress, and maybe come back after they get the number 1 pick. But
I
hey,
think
yeah,
Pops should just
they
leave in
just
general.
a full blown rebuilding team.
I think Pops should just leave in general, honestly.
Just step down from coaching or go somewhere else.
Step down, bro. Like, like honestly, what I think the play possibly could be, obviously, Quinn Snyder stepped down in Utah. To me, this is like a Quinn Snyder type job. If they get, the number 1 pick, Pop, play this last year out, retire, go, into the sunset. You've done incredible things. You are probably a top 5 coach in the history of the NBA. Go Spurs, go get Quinn Snyder, and go out there with hopefully a high draft pick, whether it's number 1 pick, 2 pick, 3 pick, 4 pick. Go out there with a very high draft pick, new coach, and young guys and just young energy. But I'm with you. Shout out to you for mentioning Jakob Poeltl. I do think he'll probably be the steadiest player on this team. And if you want to tank more, I think that's a great trade piece that you do have is Jakob Poeltl. I think a lot of teams could use a center like a Jakob Poeltl that don't have a center right now, or don't have a center that's as as cheap. And I think a team like the Hornets, if you trying to do something right now, could use a guy like Jakob Poeltl.
Oh, most definitely. Hornets or no, I think the perfect fit for Jakob, even though would probably be Brooklyn. Like if Brooklyn was to plug a guy like Jakob in there,
or
that
Brooklyn
would be sensational. He could exactly. If they want to go smaller, just take him out, run Ben at the 5 and the 4. But yeah, I don't know. Brooklyn don't really have that many assets.
They might get them in assets, but but Brooklyn would be a good place as well. So I think they also have, again, some trade pieces as well, like Doug McDermott, Josh Richardson. Like they have some people where it's like, yo, if we get around the trade deadline and we want to ensure we never win again, we have some people that we can trade to also ensure that we never win again and build up on some more assets and future things as well. But yeah, again, I don't know how many Spurs games I'll be actually tuning in to watch this year. I can't see them winning more than 25, 30 games this year. I mean, they won 34 last year and they had an all-star. So this year, I probably can't see them winning more than 25 games personally. What would be your record prediction for the Spurs?
I say probably 25 to 30. They got 34 last year. I think just because they do have shooting, they do have Greg Popovich still. They do have a couple guards like between Richardson and I think Devin Vassell can take a jump as well. He was really solid last year for the Spurs. I can probably get 25 and 30 just because they do have shooting and those things I just named. But that's the ceiling. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they got between 15 and 20 as that's probably what they should expect. But if a couple things go better than they should for that team, which is possible considering the Poeltl, Johnson, if these guys take leaps and everything goes and Pop, who's probably still one of the best coaches in the league. I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't disagree with that. If everything goes right, they can get between 25 to 30, but I think it'll probably be somewhere between 15 and 22.
Fair. 15 and 22, fair. Well, I guess we can leave it there for the Spurs. Moving on to one of the teams that I think will be a very fun watch. They might not win too many games, but I think they will be a very fun watch. The Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets last year, obviously, they were 20 and 62. Jalen Green, they picked up Jalen Green, who was my favorite player from last year's draft before going into the draft. I thought he had the biggest superstar potential. I still think he might have the biggest superstar potential when it's all said and done. Like, I think he's a guy that, I think he can be a guy who can lead the league in scoring. I just think that when you put on the film, Jalen Green just jumps off tape. He just does things that other people athletically cannot do. So the Rockets, they obviously, like I said, they picked up Jabari Smith. They picked up a lot of people. They picked up Jabari Smith. They picked up Ty Washington. They picked up.
They didn't have Marquise Chris last year, did they?
Huh?
Did they have Marquise Chris last year? I don't think so, right?
No, they didn't. They picked up Tari. Well, I was just talking about rookies. They picked up They picked up Tari Eason. They have Alfred Şengün, who I love. Alfred Şengün, by the way. I think he's like extremely diet Jokic. I can probably pick a better player. I could probably
That
go in
Jokic.
mine and pick like a much better player, but he's like extremely the most diet. Like he's like Kirkland brand Jokic. You know, you have like actual like crush pop, and you have Kirkland brand.
Yeah, you got
Kirkland brand Jokic. Kirkland brand Jokic. But this team, man, like I also I would like to see them move Eric Gordon if they possibly can and get some more assets for Eric Gordon. He's just, I mean, obviously he's a good veteran, but he's probably sitting there just like rotting away. But this
I know a
team,
couple
man, but this team, I think could be a very, very fun team. I think the backcourt of Kevin Porter and Jalen Green is fun. I'm also excited to see where Kevin Porter's progression goes. Like, can he be? I don't want to say a traditional point guard, but can he run a team? And can he run a team's offense? I want to see that. I want to see what second year Jalen Green looks like. His summer runs have looked outrageous, the things that he's been doing in summer runs. But it is summer runs, but they have looked outrageous. But I think Jalen Green last year, if I'm not mistaken, averaged like 16. There's no reason he can't get to 22 this season. In my personal opinion, there's no reason he can't get to 22. Jabari Smith, I think he'll maybe struggle coming out the gate, maybe because I don't know how much guys will look for him. Just because you do have guys like Kevin Porter and Jalen Green who can kind of get their own. But I think that he'll probably come on near the end of the year and probably finish the season with averaging about 14, 15 points. Like I said, Şengün I like, but Tari Eason is a rookie that I am looking to. I think he is the perfect like kind of 3-and-D wing in this era. I think he can kind of do what Herb Jones did last year for the Pelicans. I think that he can kind of do what Herb Jones did last year for the Pelicans.
that would be huge.
Yeah. So I think he can be their wing of the future, possibly be the steal of the draft from his position. Like I think he was, what pick was he? Tari Eason was the 17th pick. So right outside the lottery. So yeah, I think he can. I think he can be a guy who you might see make the all rookie first or second team. Again, they're gonna get up and down the court. I mean, like, look, you talking about a fast break. You got Kevin Porter in the middle. You got Jalen Green and you got Tari Eason coming at you flying down the court. I think they're gonna win some games just because they're more athletic than people. I think they're gonna win some games just because they're young and they don't care and they have no fear. And also, I'm interested to see Steven Silas again with more of a threshold over the team. Obviously, it's his third year coaching. His first year, like he had the Harden fiasco.
Situation.
The Harden fiasco, the John Wall. It's been like a lot going on in Houston. They finally seem to have like, all right, we have the guys, we have the pieces, we have some semblance of what we think we might want to do in the future, and now we can just work on doing that. They also did pick up a guy like Boban, who I think is great for the locker room. I think he's a very fun guy and great for the locker room. They still do have Eric Gordon. They have Trey Burke, who's been around the league for a while. Still have Kenya Martin Jr., who I also like. Josh Christopher in the second year. Like, this team has some guys, man. This team has some guys. And again, Jay Sean Tate, who was nice last year, who I like. Usman Graba. Usman Graba, who is another guy who I think can end up playing some like maybe small ball 5. Probably is a better 4, but maybe also small ball 5. So I think they have a lot of interchangeable parts on this basketball team. And I think that in general they will just be a very, very fun watch. And I think Jalen Green should, I don't want to say have a breakout year, because how can you have a breakout year in your second year? But I'm looking at Jalen Green. He averaged 17.3 last year. I'm looking at Jalen Green to give me 22 points this year.
That's fair. I pretty much like everything you said about Houston. I think they'll be a very, very, very fun team. They're gonna be out there playing AAU. What I mean by that is they will have one of the best offenses in the league, but they will have I wouldn't be surprised at dead last in defense. So we look on the schedule that night. If it's like a Rockets versus Charlotte game, score probably be like 140 to the 136. LaMelo Ball gonna get you a triple double. Kevin Porter might have 35. Jalen Green gonna get you 40.
Şengün might have damn near triple double. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty stats going on. Stats going on.
It's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be nasty. I don't really like to watch those games too much, but I'll definitely probably check out the highlights. I probably will actually watch that. It's fun basketball. They're probably not gonna play no defense, but they're gonna have to get some buckets. Kevin Porter gonna spin some people around. Jalen Green gonna dunk on some people. Jason Tate, he's a heck of a he'll hit some kitchen with some dimes. I like you said, Eric Gordon. He will might get in trade. A couple teams could probably use him. The Lakers could use him. Milwaukee could probably use some more bench scoring. Team like that, that'd be a good fit for him. But yeah, they have a bunch of solid pieces. They also have guys like David Nwaba, a guy who started out his career as a Laker, and then everywhere he bounces to, he just seems to impact winning everywhere he goes. If he gets the opportunity, he gets on the court. He can. He gets up and down. He gets steals. He dives on the floor. Can make an open three. Can attack the rim. They got guys like that to help impact their winning. But yeah, they're solid. I'm not. It says they don't have Dennis Schroeder no more. I don't know why he's on here. But
Because
yeah, the Rockets.
why would you want to screw on this basketball team? We can have our guard that we drafted, Ty Washington, come off the bench, and I'm interested to see Ty Washington. I think that he could be like a Tyrus
Kentucky?
Jones type guard. Yeah. I think he could be like a Tyrus Jones type guard. Excuse me. I don't know if he'll be a starter in the NBA, but I do think that he can be a guy that comes in and is like maybe the best backup point guard in the league type guy. Or maybe he does develop into it. I mean, he is 6'3", 200 pounds. Like that's a guy where, like, let's say you get in there with Kevin Porter and you like, I love you, Kevin Porter, but I don't know if you can run my basketball team because like, yo, I don't want nobody in the backcourt taking possessions away from Jalen Green. And hey, maybe Ty Washington becomes, that guy who is your floor general and the guy that you use to again conduct your basketball team. But that's the same thing about Houston. These are all things that we will see this season. But my main thing, if I'm Houston, I want to see the progression of Jalen Green. Everybody help Jalen Green become better. There is no reason Jalen Green can't be the best shooting guard in the NBA. Not next season, but within the next 2 to 3 years, there's no reason he can't be.
Yeah, all the tools. He like a light Levine, kind of somewhat. Levine with a better handle.
Yes. And I think he has better defensive principles than Zach LaVine.
That's fair. I'm not mad at that. But yeah, the Rockets, it'd be like a very fun team. They're gonna give up a lot of points this year. Probably average. I say they give up probably 110 to 115 a night, if not more than that. But yeah, they'll be fun. They'll get up a lot of shots. A lot of players that developing at one time, sort of similar to they're more talented than San Antonio, but they got a lot of players developing. Looking to take leaps this year. They got a young coach who finally has the opportunity to know exactly what the goal is and know exactly who's going to be out there every night. I think Houston will definitely be fun. We'll see where it ends up going. I wouldn't be surprised they might steal a game from a couple of the elite teams up there. They catch them sleeping. They might steal one from the Warriors or steal one from somebody. But yeah, Houston probably going to end up another top 10, top 15 pick. I say they get about, 35 wins is like the ceiling, like the best possible case scenario. They probably end up getting around 28, 27, 25.
And they have they have a pick swap next year, and they have Milwaukee's first round selection next year. 2024 they have Brooklyn selection outright. 2022 they have all of Brooklyn's picks, and actually in 2024, and then 2025. So they have picks. I mean, they got all of Brooklyn's picks, which like that 2026 Brooklyn pick. I'm looking at that might be that the 2026 and 2027 picks might be Brooklyn picks, might be some of the most valuable picks in the NBA. I'm putting that
they have their first rounders from the Harden trade.
Yes. And I think those are all unprotected, if I'm not mistaken. I know 2027 is a swap. Whoever has the higher pick, they have the choice in it. But those 2026 and those 2027 picks, I mean, when you look at what they already have, that's a pick that you could see the Rockets being a playoff team and end up with the number one pick. Or you use that pick to get whoever's disgruntled. I think those could be some of the most valuable assets as we move into the future in the National Basketball League.
Kind of similar to when Brooklyn, when Boston flipped all them old dudes, and then they ended up getting Jaylen Brown with that pick. They ended up getting Tatum. Yeah, ended up getting Tatum. Like very similar to that situation. Pretty much that all over again. But that didn't work out too well for the Nets. But yeah, you get the. That's where the Rockets sort of have similar setup,
basically. But this is but the Rockets are running off of Houston. This will be a lead pass team for me. I will be watching a lot of Rockets games this season.
So you're gonna be watching them 145 to 150 games.
100%. I'll be watching Jalen Green score 30 points every night. I will be watching it. But moving on to another one of the more interesting teams, the New Orleans Pelicans. I know Brandon Ingram is your guy. Hopefully, we actually get to see Zion. Well, not hope. Well, I'm assuming we will get to see Zion Williamson in uniform this year, but hopefully he can actually play a full season and we kind of get to see what this team might look like. I think this team is a very interesting team. I think BI has kind of elevated without Zion. Now you kind of add Zion back into that fire. What does that do? So I'm interested to hear your thoughts in the New Orleans Pelicans.
The Pelicans, this team, they have, the roster is solid. Very, very a heck of a roster. You look at it on paper, it's insanely good, especially if everybody's healthy. Last year they got they gave a heck of a run to the 1 seed Suns. They took them to 6. Brandon Ingram, probably one of the better playoff performers out of everybody in the entire first round. CJ McCollum helped them a lot. Herb Jones showed out even more in the playoffs after having an excellent regular season. They bring back Big Val. What's his name? Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes was giving them good minutes. Jose Alvarado is taking the league by storm. His backcourt steals, knocking down threes, running the offense. There's a lot of stuff went very, very, very well for this team, and this was without probably one of the best talents we've ever seen in Zion Williamson. So you get everything you had going so well for this New Orleans roster last year. You added Zion Williamson. Willie Green was coaching his ass off in the playoffs. You bring back that, and you get these guys together, and you got a 55 win team here. I think if everything you run out there starting lineup, you bring CJ, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, Big Val, and even still got Tony Snell, who's a 40% 3-point shooter off the bench. They were starting Hayes in the playoffs, right? Which is kind of crazy, but
sometimes, some games they were like running Jackson Hayes out there with Valanciunas sometimes.
Yeah, just everything seems to be you get your shot making from CJ McCollum. You get top world finishing from Zion Williamson. Herb Jones is probably going to take yet another step with his length and his ability to shoot the ball, his ability to space the floor, Val protecting the rim. It just is this team. It won't surprise me, but they could surprise a lot of people next year. I'd say like their ceiling is probably like 50. If healthy, even though obviously that's a big question mark. Zion did get his extension. I'm pretty sure if he plays more games, he gets that's how he gets his full amount of money. If this team can be healthy, 55 to 60 wins. If not healthy, they should be probably around where they were last year, or maybe a little higher. But I just think that this team pretty much has, from the coaching to the personnel to the talent. But yeah, this team is very scary.
If all things go correct, shit, they could damn near win the West. But I don't during the regular season, not in the playoffs. But if all things go correct in the regular season, they could damn near win the West. But I have some questions. The questions I have are, with adding Zion back into the roster, what happens to Brandon Ingram?
That's a very good question.
Because some of where BI was playing at is where, like, obviously Zion not gonna sit in the post all day. Zion gonna be, with a talent like that, you want him coming downhill because you want 275 pounds coming downhill straight at you, because what are you going to do? But some of those eats up where Ingram was playing at. You already have CJ out there. So I just have questions about also Jonas Valanciunas. Like, he was getting a lot of looks last year. Like, he was getting like 30 and 20 last year. Now he has to spread out a little bit more, maybe to like the 3-point line. But I also think when you move Zion to the bench, I think how Willie Green does his rotations will be very pivotal for this basketball team, because everybody still has to get like their level of touches while adding a guy who's probably going to come in and take 22 shots back into the lineup. Like last time Zion was on the court, which is the year before, Zion averaged 27 points and Zion took 17 shots. BI actually took more shots than Zion last time, but Zion shot 61% from the field. So it's just very interesting to me to see what will happen when he comes back. And also that they didn't have Jonas Valanciunas and they didn't have CJ McCollum. So they got a lot of cooks in the kitchen, which is obviously a good thing. I think they'll score a lot of points. I think they'll, get up and down the court a lot. But even with getting up and down the court a lot, they have two players who I feel like aren't transition players who take a lot of shots, which is CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram. Those guys don't really strike me as, those guys strike me as more half court. We're gonna dribble around. It's gonna take us a minute to do what we do type guys. Also, I don't know if they have anybody to just looking at the roster. I don't know if they have anybody who can conduct the offense. When I look at the roster. Also, they did pick up Dyson Daniels, who I think is a home run pick because I don't think you really needed him, but he is still a 6'8" guard, a guy who can play point guard, and he's like 6'8". I don't even know like where he gets the time to do what he does and even like develop, but that's another wild card that you add in his roster. So I think, man, like if all things go completely correct, I think you really, really have something here. But at the same time, I do think that there could be maybe some rifts, and this could be the start of Brandon Ingram being on the move again.
Like trade wise?
Yeah, I think it'd be the start of Brandon Ingram being on the being on the move again. Also,
I did do it.
Either I remember that trade. Either being on the move or he becomes a 6-man.
Whoa, 6-man is crazy. He was just an all-star.
Yeah, but that's a bad thing, though.
The key thing for the Pelicans is going to be sacrifice. If these guys can all sacrifice and play as one, and Willie Green can really instill that into their head, and as young as these players are, Brandon Ingram already has his contract. CJ McCollum already has his contract. Zion Williamson already has his contract. These guys are already paid, so it's not like they're going to be out there hunting, trying to get. There's no reason for them to really be selfish. These guys are already set. They got what they have their money. If they're young, they're competitors. They want to go out there and they're going to do whatever they can to put themselves in the best position to win. I have full faith in Willie Green to do that for these guys. I listened to his fourth quarter speeches and what he's instilling in them. Seemed like he had them going in the right direction. A lot of people didn't expect him to take Phoenix to 6 last year. I
wasn't that shocked at that though.
Yeah, I mean,
I also wasn't shocked when they. I remember at the playing game, I was walking around in like the lunchroom telling people they can lose. Like they can lose this game, right? CJ McCollum go out there and score 40 points. He was selling in that game, if I'm not mistaken. CJ was fucking selling. He was tripping. B.I. go out there, get you. I'm like, yo, they can lose this game. But also, even like they got guys like Larry Nance. Larry Nance was huge off the bench playing game. Like he was looking like Dennis Rodman at times against Phoenix. He was huge. Like I said, like this team, I'm with you. This team has a lot talented from top to bottom. I don't know if you can name too many teams in the West with, on paper, in theory, more talent than what they have. It's just about how can you make it all work. And when you add somebody like Zion into the fold, just how do you make it all work? That's all.
It's crazy because it looks like they got 2 guaranteed starters on this. 2 guaranteed, like pretty much guys who could be all-star starters. Pretty much, I think Ingram is capable. Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram.
Ingram not gonna be all-star.
I'm saying he's capable. He's capable. I'm not saying he is. He's capable of getting that. If this team all-star break, if they on pace to win 60, 65 games, and Ingram is getting you 24 points. I mean, the only reason why because he's not that marketable. That would be the only reason why. But I mean, production-wise, I think he deserves it. He's not that marketable in Louisiana. Probably they're more known for football. We know they don't have one of the better fan bases in the league. But I'm saying production-wise, I think he could earn something like that. He probably won't get it. But Zion Williamson, I think you definitely don't disagree with that one, right? Number one pick, probably one of the best finishers. He could be an all-star starter, just MVP candidate if he's healthy and out there all for at least 70 games, which is, I mean, obviously that's something that's probably very far-fetched. But the talent is after a long rebuilding process with this team, it look like now is their time. They can stay healthy and Willie Green can really instill everything that needs to be said to them. And like I said, they already paid, so there's no need for them to go out there and be selfish. No need for Ingram to go out there looking people off. No need for Zion or any of these guys to have any sort of reason to get their own over playing team basketball. They already got the checks is already there, so they just got to go out there and produce.
My other thing with the Pelicans though is defense. Last year they were ranked 20th in defense. Even when Zion was on the court, I was very disappointed in him defensively. I want to see them get the best out of Zion defensively. There's no reason, like I think there was a point in time in which it's time in the season in which Josh Hart had more when last time he played, in which Josh Hart had more rebounds than Josh Hart was averaging 8 boards, Zion averaging 7 boards. Inexcusable.
Josh Hart a dog though.
You're fucking Zion. You're a goddamn you are the new you are Larry Johnson on steroids, and you're giving me 7 rebounds. Excuse me, you aren't giving me a block a game. You can jump out the gym. You can't give me a. So my thing with all these guys is for me. CJ obviously has his shortcomings defensively. I think Jackson Hayes has been a good rim protector. Obviously, I know Larry Nance is gonna do his thing. They have Herb Jones. They do have Trey Murphy, who are 2 good wings. But defensively is my thing with them. These guys also need to be able to lock in and play defense, and they should.
Ooh, Zion was getting 27 on 61%.
Exactly. I think Zion can average 30.
On facts, I'm probably on like 58%.
I think Zion could realistically, arguably lead the league in scoring.
And make it look easy too. Like we watch a lot of guys dominate the paint between Shaqs, the LeBrons, the Giannis's. But when you watch Zion, you go to get a whole different feel. You like, damn, he makes it look even easier than some of these guys have made it look. Without question. Yeah, and like you said, his defense though, when they bring him out into that pick and roll, is Zion gonna be able to move his feet and close out without running out, looking out of control? Is he gonna be able to respond in situations like that? They drag him out there.
That, and I'm also worried about his help defense. Like I said, with his level of athletic ability, there's no reason he shouldn't at least be one of the better help defenders in the NBA. If Giannis could come over and help on help defense, if Bron can come over and block shots, there's no reason that Zion Williamson can't do those same things with the athletic tools that he has. So I know the Pelicans will score some points in theory. Obviously, Willie Green got to get the rotations right, but I know the Pelicans will have no problem scoring points. They got 4 20-point scorers on the team. Jonas Valanciunas can get you 20. CJ can get you 20. Zion can get you 20. B.I. can get you 20. Shit, Devontae Graham might get hot and get you 20. They got about 5 people who can go out and get you 20
Herb
points.
Jones will get you 15, 18. He might be Herb Jones.
Trey Murphy fuck around, go out there and hit 7 threes, get you 20.
They have bodies, man.
They have a lot of guys who can go out there and get you 20 points, but they need to buy in defensively. They need to all buy in defensively, and I think if they can do that and also get everybody on the same page, hey man, the Pelicans might be something. The Pelicans, the Pelicans might have something to say in this Western Conference. So, moving on, we can talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. Talk about the Memphis Grizzlies, aka the Golden State Warriors rivals, arch enemies. They have a Christmas game this year, right?
Yeah, they do.
They have a Christmas game against Golden State. Ja Morant is the Hood's new favorite player. Jaren Jackson is, I think, out for what? I think was it 4 months because of a broken foot?
I think so, yeah.
So Jaren Jackson is out for 4 months because of a broken foot. They did lose, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Anderson. They also lost D'Anthony
Where did he
Melton.
go real quick? Who picked him up?
I think it was the Timberwolves.
Oh, okay.
Then I was like, I think it was the Timberwolves, but they did pick up Danny. I mean, if Danny Green is even healthy for the season, I know he had that injury where he tore pretty much everything. But at the same time, you have Zaire Williams coming into his second year. You have Desmond Bain coming off what he did last year. You have Ja coming off what he did last year. What do you see for the Memphis Grizzlies? Obviously, now they're not gonna shock anybody. So what do you see for the Grizzlies coming into next season?
I see another successful year for the Grizzlies, bearing injuries. Obviously, Ja Morant obviously doesn't have his injury history. He's very explosive and he's jumping up and down and landing all over the place. Bearing injury, which obviously we don't wish on anyone, but it's just based on history. What we've seen usually repeats itself. But barring any injuries, I believe this team another great year, another top 4, top 5 seed. I don't see why they can't earn home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Sure, considering their roster and how deep they are, even more chemistry now. They got some playoff experience. Bring it back. They this offseason, I think they extended Tyus Jones. So it was a guy we said pretty much is probably the best backup point guard in the league, one of the best assist turnover ratios. They won't have Jackson to start, but they do have Brandon Clark, the guy who was giving you 10 points and 6 rebounds off the bench. So he'll slide right into that role. This team is very good at still being able to win games and compete without when some of the better players are down. We saw it last year. I think they went like 20-5 without Ja Morant, something like that. in that range. They bring it back obviously. The same coaching staff, same players. They're gonna just build more chemistry. They got Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, a very good wing combo. They both shoot
Dylan
the
Brooks got
lights
to stop
out.
fucking fouling though. And Dylan Brooks is also a war criminal. I have not forgotten, Dylan. I have not forgotten the crimes you committed against Golden State, Dylan Brooks. I have not forgotten the war
Last year
criminal
in
that he
Game 6,
was.
he was hooping in Game 6. Yeah, he's had some down moments, but he's still one of the better young wings in the league, despite what happened in the playoffs when he shot the ball very bad at certain moments, shot a lot of questionable shots. He's still one of the better young wings in the league on both ends of the floor. He'll piss off your guard and he'll give you about 15, 20 points. He'll dive on the floor. He's kind of like I want to say or maybe the same, or like a Dallas Store Marcus Smart, honestly, kind of like, or if it's not in that same realm, in that same that archetype. That's a very valuable player. No, nah.
Nah,
I
he ain't
think
Marcus Smart. I
he's
feel
very
you,
close.
but he ain't. No, he ain't close to Marcus Smart.
He ain't close to
he ain't close to Marcus Smart. No,
He ain't close. He ain't close.
No.
Pull up the number. I'll pull up the numbers. What was
He get you 18 points on 30% shooting from three.
Why he can't be Marcus Smart then? 18 points.
Smart. He not Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart will get 10 assists. He'll fuck around and get 20 points.
Only difference is the playmaking.
I mean, that's a huge difference.
I guess, but I'm saying he brings sort of the same energy.
I feel you.
The same grittiness, but that wing combo is fire. Desmond Bain, and Dylan Brooks. Bain, obviously one of the best shooters in the league, top 3, top 5 shooters in the NBA. He came out there. The way he shoots the ball is, I think, 44%. He shoots it from everywhere, from 35 feet, 40 feet, 25 feet. Like I said, they got Steven Adams, a vet big. I think he's huge for them. He says really nice, good screens. He was really good with Westbrook. Same thing with John Morant. Finishes at the rim. He can get you 15 rebounds in a game where you need those boards. He'll get those for you. But I think Memphis is solid. They should have another great year, barring any injuries. They bring back Jared Culver. Like you said, they picked up Danny Green. Hopefully he can be healthy. What else? Xavier Tillman was a guy that got good minutes from this last playoffs when he had to step up and play a little bit. But they just very young, athletic. They really what they thrive in is they're young and athletic, and they they move around the court very fast. I think they really did a great job of getting under Golden State's skin in this last playoff series. As you can see, Golden State was a lot more comfortable versus Dallas than they were versus Memphis. It wasn't moved around against Draymond Green. Dealing with Maxi Kleber was a whole lot easier than him having to deal with Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson, and Steven Adams and those bigs over in Memphis. They get real gritty. They're not scared of you. They will bump you. They will talk to you. And it's not going to be nobody is going to walk into Memphis next year thinking we got to win. They're going to know they're going to have to fight, and they know it's going to be a battle going through Memphis next season.
For you. What's the next step for John Morant?
The next, I'll say first, health. Besides that, probably maybe being able to slow the game down for himself a little bit. I remember, what game was that when we saw when he went crazy when we went to the bar. It was me, you, and Thomas. He had like 60. What was that, game 3 or what game was that in the playoffs? You remember when he had Poole doing the dancing around?
Oh yeah, Poole. I think that was game. Was that game 4?
I think that was game 4.
Game 4 when Poole fucking fell like that.
Yeah. We was jumping all over the bar. We was
playing Twister. I'm like, what? How you just fall like that?
Just based off stuff like that, I think his game pretty much, if he stays healthy, he should be fine. Like he everything is already in the bag. He has the athleticism. He has the in between game. His mid range jumper could probably be a little better, but he has a floater. 3-ball, he can hit a 3-ball. You're not just gonna leave him open out there. The finishing is unquestionable. One of the best finishers we've seen in the guard finishers we've seen over the last 5 years. The next up for him is just health, and then probably that mid range shot, and then maybe slowing down the game sometimes. But besides that, John Morant, another guy who's capable of possibly being an all-star starter next year. He can come out there and get you 27, maybe make a little more, maybe 8 assists might be a lot for him, 6, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. But John Morant, he's that guy for sure. Definitely going to be there's not 5 guards in the NBA right now better than John Morant.
Oh, for sure. For me, I still think Memphis needs a number 2 option as far as scoring wise, especially if Jaren Jackson isn't going to be there. Well, for half of the year. I mean, I think they need somebody else who can average 20.
You said Dylan Brooks is 18, right? And what is Bane like?
Yeah, but I think all of those guys had to
15?
more. But I think all those guys had to be set up.
Oh, you somebody that can get his own. Somebody that can take some
Yeah,
pressure in the half
yeah,
court.
yes. I think they need somebody when shit goes to hell. They don't just have to throw the ball to Ja Morant and be like, Ja, figure it out for us. I think right now Ja has to still kind of make plays for everybody else. They don't really have anybody else who could, which is why even when you put the Jaren Jackson, Brandon Ingram trade up, I didn't mind it because I think Brandon Ingram is would. They need like that type of guy, which is why I look at Zaire Williams and I think that his continued progression is huge for them. Like I want to see if he can eventually grow to be a guy that can kind of like get his on his own. Obviously, be able to knock down a three. He's 6'8", he's long. Hopefully, he can like defend, but also can he get his on his own? I think Memphis needs one more player who can get theirs on their own. I think that they'll always run into issues as they get deeper and deeper in playoff series if they don't have nobody else outside of Ja Morant who can get his on his own. I think the next step for Ja, one, defensively. I think defensively he can still be toyed with. I think also I think shooting off the dribble is a thing for him. I think with the way he shoots, he's not really a great shooter off the dribble unless it's like a floater or something like that. He's not really a great shooter off the dribble. So I think shooting off the dribble, getting a little actual literal pull up that he could shoot from, I don't know, 18 feet. If you can't get to the floater, getting a pull up, maybe getting like a step back that's actually, consistent. Just getting some more moves so you don't always have to be pounding it, trying to get in the painted area. Even though he does shoot 55, like, no, not 50, 50% from in the paint, which as a guard is incredible. But I would love to see the 3-point percentage get up to about 37%. And I mean, I'm not looking at his splits literally from like every side of the court right now. Actually, let me go look at it. Fuck it. I'm sitting right here. Look at his splits from, and also with Ja got the money now. Have you seen Ja this offseason? Have you watched Ja's vlogs this offseason? My brother.
I have. And his IG lives, yep, I've seen them.
My brother. I want you to live your best life, Ja Morant. But Ja Morant, please remember how you got the money, Ja Morant. I see you in Icebox taking shots of Casamigos. Hey, brother. Okay. All right. I love you, Ja, but hey. All right. Yeah, see from Ja Morant from, is this? Oh, that's a 10. Yeah, see. Okay, so from basically at the rim, he shoots 70%. Insane, right? Crazy.
That is insane.
3 to 10 feet, 43. 10 to 16, 38. 16 to 3-point, 24. So I would like to see Ja add like other layers to his game if he can't get all the way to the rim because it drops off complete. And I think one of those things is his form, the way he brings it up from here. Like he needs to work on that. And if he doesn't get better at that, and hey, you don't have to be great at everything, but if he doesn't get better at that, then I think that they need somebody else who can get their own 20 points. Because right now, I think everybody has to be set up in order to score. And I think that that's what will hold them back. So I think that they'll have a good regular season regardless. I mean, I think that, even if, like we said, Ja misses, 20 games, they have the best backup point guard in the NBA. He's not going to turn the ball over. That is one thing with Tyus Jones, which is also, and it's also why they win games still, because he's not going to turn the ball over and he can actually hit threes. So you'll still win games. I do think obviously missing Jaren Jackson, who in Ja's mind was the defensive player of the year last year. I think missing him with the foot injury, hopefully he can play this season in general. I do think that will hurt. I do think they will drop in the standings a little bit. I also think that the fact that they're not going to sneak up on anybody anymore. Like, people know who you are, and they're a very loud basketball team. They tell you who they are, too. I think they might drop to 4th or 5th in the standings. I do think it'll be tougher for them this year. I also think the West is just better than what it was last year, too. So it'll be tougher for them. And they were a team that probably should have lost in the first round. They probably should have lost to the Timberwolves in the first round. But the Timberwolves are just the dumbest team in the history of the NBA last year for whatever reason. But again, I think this team will be interesting. I'm looking, like I said, my main 3 things with them is how will they fare without Jaren Jackson. I do think that will hurt. I think they will take a slight step back this year, but I still think they'll be fine. Not like they're going to like drop like the Hawks did. Remember that year when the Hawks were the conference finals and then next year went into play. I don't think that they'll do that. I do think eventually, if Ja doesn't get, like I said, look at what Ja. It by distance, the shit goes down crazy. It's 70% at the rim, 43% 3 to 10 feet, 38% 10 to 16, 16 to 3, 24%. So I do think I would like to see Ja work on his in between game. And if he isn't, like I said, it's not a bad thing. He still shoots 50% for a guard, which is incredible. But I think that you need to find another guy that's able to get their own money. So I'm looking at Zaire Williams, who they drafted, who I think has good size. I want to see if he can come in and be a guy who can get their own money, and you move Dylan Brooks to the bench or something like that. So for real, like just move Dylan Brooks to the bench. I think if Dylan Brooks is your sixth man, that's incredible. And they also lost DeAnthony Melton, so you can already see like they're still like they're already losing. I think Cal Anderson, quiet as kept, was a glue guy for this basketball team. So was DeAnthony Melton. So they're already losing like pieces of guys who I think were just integral to the core of that. Like, I don't know how it was on the road. Like, all those guys were the same, like around the same age. Shit. DeAnthony Melton and Ja might have been great friends. I don't know. Cal Anderson and Jaren Jackson might have been great friends. So I don't know. So I think, and that. So we'll see. Say we missing the main point, Ja's mentality. I understand this. Like I said, I love Ja. Ja is a dog. I think it's incredible. But you got the money now, brother. Let's see. So we'll see with this team. Moving on to the very, 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 very last team, very, very last thing. The Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks season preview. Obviously, they have Luka Doncic, who I think. Would you say he's the favorite for MVP next season?
I wouldn't call him the favorite just because there's too many other dudes who's very, very, very good at basketball right now. But I would say he's a top three. Like I say, he's a lock for top 3, top 5 favorite for. I wouldn't. It's hard to say anybody's really a favorite between like those top guys. I feel like they're all so close. It's hard to really just differentiate one of them from all the rest of them. Between Giannis, Jokic, and probably Luka, it's hard for me to just pick one.
Fair. So yeah, they added JaVale McGee, added Christian Wood. Obviously, they lost due to Donovan Mitchell's ability to create generational wealth. They lost Jalen Brunson.
Giving him too much credit, man.
So he created due to Donovan Mitchell's ability to create generational wealth.
You giving Donovan Mitchell too much credit for that, man.
Generational wealth. He was balling, but there was a reason he was balling that hard. Donovan Mitchell is one of the main culprits of that.
Why your man's outside defense couldn't save him?
Gee, I've got to help everybody. Everybody getting broke down. What you want me to do?
They weren't helping him. You should have been helping him.
They got me on max. So you want me to protect the corner and then get back because my guard can't keep nobody in front of him?
If you can't do either one, then you need to be on the bench. That's why I need to get a center like Jacob Poeltl to come in, who's cheaper, who I can bench, so I got more money in other areas. So maybe I can have some wing defenders.
Gee, I feel you. But if Mike Conley getting broke down, Donovan Mitchell, who came into the NBA as a defender, is literally letting somebody run past him. What do you want me to do? But that's beside the point. They lost him. Other than that, they still pretty much had the same roster. Tim Hardaway Jr., who was hurt, I'm assuming he will be back and healthy this season. What do you expect from them? Obviously, they made the conference finals again. Well, last year. What do you expect from the Dallas Mavericks? And are there any people on this roster that you are looking at that could maybe shock the world on this basketball team?
I wouldn't say shock the world, but I do think they have two very underrated pieces on this team between Reggie Bullock and Dorian Finney-Smith. Those are two wings that I think really need to win games. Reggie Bullock is an outstanding on-ball defender. I've seen him give guys trouble throughout the season. All the quicker younger guards, he's given Ja trouble, giving Trey Young trouble. And he also shoots the ball at like a 39-40% clip. And then you also have Dorian Finney-Smith, a wing 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan. He gets out there. He'll guard Kawhi Leonard. He'll guard a Paul George. He'll guard a LeBron James. He'll guard a Giannis, and he'll try his best. Those two guys are key to winning. And they had those guys. I think they really played well throughout their run last year. And they get to mix those guys. They bring back a Tim Hardaway Jr. I think they have these also guys that complement Luka's game because they don't need the ball and they space the floor and they take pressure off of him on the defensive end. So I think that this roster is very underrated in that way. The guys that they do have, you add a Christian Wood, I think that's fire. He produces. I think he's pretty much a walking like 21 and 8 out there. He can shoot. He finished at the rim. create for himself a little bit. You can feed him. He can go get a bucket. They did a pretty good job this offseason. Luka Doncic is probably going to have another outstanding year. All-star starter, pretty much. That's locked in. That's guaranteed. Like I said, top 3 MVP. They got a Josh Green. Like a JaVale McGee's been one of the best backup centers, and when he starts, sometimes one of the best starting centers in the league. When he's out there getting playing 20, 25 minutes, he's going to produce. He's going to finish some lobs. He's going to protect the rim. He's going to bring you some energy. I think he'll be a great fit with Luka as a lob threat. They got the those him, JaVale McGee and Christian Wood down at the same time is going to be fire. I think this team can be. They got to the Western Conference Finals last year. I wouldn't expect them to go back, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they did get back. Like you said, the West is a lot.
Doing the Clippers. Oh Lord, Luka sees an LA Clippers jersey, and oh Lord,
he be frying Zubac up, man.
Oh Lord.
But like you said, the West is a lot tougher this year with the Clippers being healthy again. Suns are gonna come back, bringing pretty much everybody back. The Lakers will be healthy this year.
Oh, come on.
Stop.
Come on.
Stop.
Come on.
But the West is gonna be tougher this year. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they did sneak their way back into the Western Conference Finals. The role players they have are really good at what they do, and they complement their superstars game. So he kind of maximizes everybody. You maximize Luka because they're around him, and those guys are maximized because they have a guy they can just kind of lean on. So if they stay healthy, they can get back to the Western Conference Finals. They can sneak up and steal maybe 45 to 50 wins this year. A little more chemistry, depending on how good Christian Wood is. That's a very low risk, high reward situation. They can either extend him by December or they can trade him off by February if he doesn't really work out. So we'll see how it goes. They are also Jason Kidd, one of the better defensive coaches in the league. I guess you added JaVale McGee, you got Finney Smith, Reggie Bullock. So they really, the fact that Luka isn't the greatest defender isn't really a problem for this team. They can hide him or do different things to get him not in the spotlight on defense. But I think this Dallas team is very solid. I 100% expect them to compete. But yeah, like I said, they can get about 45 to 54 wins, I believe. Maximum around like 54, 55. Minimum, I think anything less than 45 wins, I think would be a kind of a failure for this team, considering you do have one of the best players in the league and you surrounded them with what you have surrounded them with. So yeah, it should be definitely a fun team, probably a league pass team. Also bring back Dinwiddie, who's going to take on a bigger role. Dinwiddie has been a very good guard in this league for a very long time, pretty much guaranteed 16, 17 points with about 5-6 assists. A guy to take pressure off of Luka. He stepped into a bigger role now that Brunson is gone. I think that'll help him. But yeah, this team, they bring back Kleber, one of the better 3-point shooters in the league, high IQ guy, who's also is no real slouch on defense. So yeah, Dallas should be solid. One other fun team to watch.
Couple questions with Dallas. One, what's Luka's next level? I think one, shot selection. I think Luka takes a lot of bad shots because he can hit them, but I think there are easier shots that he can get. And I think he can get in. I think that he can get into trouble with those shots as the playoffs go deeper. Also, his conditioning. I think you could see in the conference finals, he was clearly tired. Clearly, I think so. I think those are my questions with Luka. I think the JaVale McGee pickup was huge. I think one is being a lob threat, also adding to their back line of defense. I think it's huge. Christian Wood, even just judging off I don't know if you remember when what he did with those couple games with Harden. He looked great playing off Harden. Like he was good in the pick and roll. Also, he can, hit a three. That gives you another option. Like now you can play Kleber and Christian Wood if that's something that you want to do in your front court at time. If you're matching up against, bigger teams, you can do that. Also, Tim Hardaway being back, I think is huge. A guy I'm looking at, I don't know if he'll be great this year, but I think in the future, he can kind of substitute what Jalen Brunson brought is Jaden Hardy. Obviously, I don't think he'll be the playmaker that Brunson was, but I think as far as like scoring, I think he's the guy that can be kind of electric for this team. I think he was like the number 3 shooting guard or like the number 1 shooting guard in the nation at some point in time in high school. So I think that he can be used for this team. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to say that they can't get back to the conference finals. I do think that it will be harder, but I think a lot of it depends upon just the progression of Luka Doncic. Like, where does he go? Like, what is Luka Doncic's ceiling? Like, what does he come back better at this year? if he comes back, let's just say, what if Luka cleans up his shot selection and gets to number one, he shoots 74% from the free throw line. Let's say, what if he comes back 50, 39, 80?
What is he from the field?
45%.
45.
Last year he shot 45%. For his career, is 45%. But I think a lot of that is because of the shots he takes. I think if he cleaned up his shot selection, he could shoot better.
We disagree on this all the time, but no, he not. That's a shot. You shoot the shots that you can make.
But
that's how you keep the defense on their toes.
No, listen, I think he can keep the defense on his toes, but while taking better shots. Even Steph doesn't take as many terrible shots as he used to.
Steph has never shot a terrible shot ever in his life.
Yes. Even Vince's right. 2016, the last play of the game. If you would have just pump fake Kevin Love, drove, laid the ball up, maybe you get fouled. Now you're down one, come back, play defense, get you a better look next time. But no, you were fucking hunting. And took a goddamn contested three from.
He just shot as soon as he caught it. He hesitated. If he would have shot as soon as he caught it and he makes it, that's probably the greatest shot in NBA history.
Because Kevin Love jumped out. Kevin Love jumped out. He was like, oh shit. If he just pump fakes and goes to the rim, lays the ball up, maybe you get fouled, you trust your defense, come back down. I'm just saying, I think that, hot take. The Mavs are missing the playoffs. That is a strong hot take. I don't know if I believe with that one. I wish you could come on and explain that, my brother. I don't agree with that, but you know what? I like it. But yeah, I just think Luka could clean up. Actually, if you see this Sporting with Darren, can you please put in the comments and explain why while I'm still talking about the Mavericks? But yeah, I think that Luka could clean up some of his shot selection. And if he does do that, you might see a 50, 38, 88 season. And then what does that look like for Luka Doncic? That might put you at 33 points per game. That might make you the MVP of the league doing things like that. So I think he could clean that up. Again, I do think Jalen Brunson will be a tough loss because I'm not always sold on Spencer Dinwiddie every night when you need Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie is like an add-on. I fuck with that. But they're going to need Spencer Dinwiddie to perform on this basketball team pretty much every night. Like when Luka goes to the bench, there ain't another soul on this roster as I'm looking at it that's going to handle the ball. Like, who going to handle the ball? If he
relying on Dinwiddie is not. Dinwiddie is solid. Dinwiddie's been good his whole career ever since past his third year. He's been solid.
Dinwiddie has shot. This is what he shot: 30%, 35, 44, 38, 44.
How many points?
41, 4, 4, 7, 12, 16, 20. 6, but he got hurt that year. 13, he shot. Now, he did shoot 50% in Dallas last year, basically, and 40% in the small service size that he did give you when he came over. But he was shooting 37% in Washington. If you can get that Spencer Dinwiddie, the one that you got last year where he can come out here and shoot 45%, let's say, and give me about 38% from three, I love it.
2019 Dinwiddie, though. If you get that Dinwiddie, if you get 2019 Dinwiddie.
He said, start ranking the West playoffs in your head. Who are the Mavs better than? Again, I think a lot of that depends on Luka Doncic. Lakers, I think they're better than the Lakers. I think debatable better than the Suns. I want to see how the Suns recover after that shit last year. I got to see how the Suns recover. Debatable better than the Pelicans. A
lot of it really is debatable. Yeah, Utah losing their spot, so that's gonna be another open spot.
They gone. But yeah, a lot of it is actually debatable. But
it's really debatable. It's just, you gotta see how it play out. It's not a lot of it is debatable.
And again, I think it's what Spencer Dinwiddie do you get? Does Luka Doncic become better? Does the Christian Wood acquisition works out? Again, like I said, I think if all things do go well, I think this is a team that can make it back to the Western Conference Finals. Obviously, I don't even think they could beat Golden State. When it comes to the Clippers, shit, who knows, bro? Because the shit I be seeing Luka doing against the Clippers is inhumane. Now, granted, they done lost both series, but he be balling. And I don't think he's had the same level of I won't say same level of help. I don't think Porzingis was no help, but I don't think he's had the same level of help that fits him as he has now. I think they figured out what goes well around Luka Doncic. But any last thoughts with the Mavs?
No, with the Mavs, should be a heck of a team. I expect them to go out there and compete every night. They should be. I'm pretty sure they won. How many? I don't know. Per that, I got to be at least a top 10 league pass team just off the Luka Doncic name alone, right?
For sure.
We should probably see them on TV a lot. I expect every time they're
they got a Christmas game against the Lakers.
They do. Should be a heck of a game. Last year, Lakers versus Mavs was that game. Austin Reeves hit that. Pretty much the
Russ hit that. Russ hit that 3 in the quarter.
Yeah, That Luka actually didn't even play that game, and we still barely beat them.
He didn't.
But he said he didn't play, right?
Yeah, he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play, and we still barely beat him. But that should be a great game. I expect them to compete every night when they on the headline and whoever it's against. I expect Luka Doncic to put on the show every night. They got some a good fantasy production from this team. I take Wood. I maybe take Dinwiddie late. Obviously, I take Luka. Depending on how deep the league is, maybe a Finney Smith or a Bullock. But yeah, it should be a heck of a must-see NBA TV from Dallas coming next year.
I agree. So I think we can leave it at that for now. Next week, what division do you want?
Division? We go back east. I guess we could rock with
do the Central.
We could do Central.
Do the Central Division next week. So there you have it, man. As always, Joe, get your plug in. Tell the people where they can find you at.
What's good, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. Get me on Twitter at the Jolts with 2 S's, JOLTSS. Hit me on the gram at Joel R. Wilson. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, Pavy.
And as always, man, follow me on Twitter at Pavy World, Pavy World, all one word, man. Make sure you check out my music. Go play Soft Lips, please. Go play songs about women. I'm gonna have a new project coming out soon. Again, you can find my music. Just type in Pavy anywhere you stream anything, and you can find it. And yeah, man. Until next time.